Welcome to the Soul to Soul Marketing Interview Series. I'm your host, Cassie Killey of On Point Holistic Marketing, and I'm here today with Sheila Hall, who is a functional medicine health coach and certified reflexologist in Maryland. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Casey.
Now, would you like to get started just by telling us a little bit about your reflexology practice and who you help?
Okay, well, like you said, I'm located in Maryland, Randallstown, Maryland. I have a small spa out here. So basically, by me being a functional medicine health coach, I specialize in women's health. And so I incorporate my health coaching with reflexology and other holistic practices. So, yes, that's me out here. My little space, which I just opened like a year and a half ago. So it's kind of new and I'm kind of still feeling my way, but it's good.
Well, that's exciting. And are you doing this full time right now?
No, this is part-time. It's part-time, which I hope gradually go to full-time. Had a lot of possibilities going on, and then of course COVID, so I had to scale back some. So hopefully my dreams will come true next year. We'll see.
I know. I feel like there's so many people out there who are like good trajectories, and then it's just, it's been hard.
Yeah. So they had to get real creative. It's like, okay.
Have you been able to do transition any of your services to be more virtual to kind of help that way too during some of the closures, or?
Yeah, well, thankfully, the functional medicine health coaching is a lot virtually. I help people virtually. So I have, the way my spa is set up, I only see one person at a time, and I made it into like a VIP service. So I was able to still see some of my old clients who wanted to come, and they felt real comfortable because no one else was here but them. And so I just had to, put all of the sanitation and the PPE and all that in place, but it worked out really good. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it kind of worked out well that you had some options to help with that.
Yeah. And also in my spa, I have a juice bar. So that's what really helped me in this pandemic, because I make juices, kombucha, and all that. So I was able to sell those, like people can pick up and everything. So they kind of like help the cushion a little bit. So.
Oh, that's great. And that is so fun that you make all those. That is awesome.
Yeah. It just goes in with trying to, I guess, look at your clients and figure out, especially now in the pandemic, how other ways to help them. So I do a lot of, because everything has to do with health. So my juice bar, and it's like stress and inflammation, and I try to stress those things, and about like getting a juice to help with those type of things, or gut health. So it goes back into my functional medicine coaching. So steady weaving all those things in. And it's, to stay in touch with clients that don't want to come in and want some other ways to stay healthy. So that's helped.
That's great. As we can hear my son coming in to grab something. Like, oh, yay.
Like the truck, I said, we're going to be coming down.
As we talk about adapting to COVID life.
Yeah.
Now, were you more focused on reflexology, or was it all integrated before COVID? I didn't know if this, like, you kind of shifted your focus a little bit, or?
Well, I've been a reflexologist since 2007, and I've always did it, but it was more of going to events. Did a lot of going to events and corporate reflexology. So the functional health coach and all that came later. And so, of course, I was thinking of like, how can I use that along with reflexology, which of course was pretty easy. And So just start incorporating all those things. Because one thing that I realize is people don't really think about the health of their feet unless something is hurting their feet. And so when you can see, when you can show them the interconnectedness of both those things, they start realizing like, oh, okay, now I can see how that shows up on my feet. And they start paying attention more to it and start taking care of their feet better. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're able to help them do that. I like that you'd mentioned both things. So I feel like we haven't had a lot of people talk about either events or corporate.
Uh-huh.
So which one you want to talk about first? I want to talk about how that looked and how that worked for you a little bit.
Either one.
Okay, well, let's start with, I mean, not that either one of them are probably super practical right now, but
Yeah.
events, let's talk about that. Like, what kind of events were you going to and how was that looking for you?
Mostly I went to a lot of holistic fairs. It was a group of us. One of my old teachers actually had gotten together a lot of his students. It's about like 5 or 6 of us, and we actually get a booth together at different holistic events, and that worked out really well because when you go, especially to those big like fairgrounds and things like that, you have a whole lot of people, and so you didn't feel like somebody was getting more than you because it was so many people coming, and we were able to, pass out your business cards and all of that. So that was like really cool. You had to get creative with the feet cleaning. But other than that, it was cool. I mean, I was surprised because you did get a lot of people didn't want to take off their shoes because they've been walking around and everything, but you had to let them feel comfortable knowing that it didn't bother you, try to act like, I guess the same way if you just go to a doctor house, like, wait a minute, you gonna do what I have? So it's like, once they saw like having different sprays, essential oils, and they smelled it, they was like, oh, okay, you just spray it and like, okay, and they felt comfortable getting in the chair, and then you couldn't get them up, but it was like, and then, everyone had a timer, and you time like so many minutes, you might do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you always need to leave a leadway because after they get 10 minutes, they want, can I get 5 minutes more or something like that? So it's like, so it was really cool.
That's awesome. How'd you like it, or how were you pricing that then if they were asking for more?
Well, a lot of times it's like you have a set price, say it's $10 for 15 minutes, and then it's an extra $1 every minute after that. So it's like, and you wind up getting more than you probably normally would because they always want more. And they give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. So that's like, okay.
Oh, that's smart. I like how they were, to know that they were going to want that.
Yeah.
And that's what a great selling benefit too. If they're like, oh, don't stop.
Right. So it's like, you imagine what you get here. Imagine if you come see me, on a regular basis, what you get. So that would kind of help.
That's great. Now, so there was a lot of health fairs just within your area where you live, so that, or were you kind of traveling around outside of your, like?
We traveled around, but mostly in the DMV area, which is DC, Virginia, and Maryland, because where I live, everything is probably an hour apart, distance, depending on where you go. So, and plus you want to stay in your area to hopefully get clients to come see you. So.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because like in my area, there wouldn't be enough like fairs to, to do that.
Yeah. And then it's like you can always set up your own little health fair, I had brought a tent one time, and it was like a 8x10 tent, and it was enclosed, and you could go into the park or something and set it up and have it opened up so you can get people in that way. So
And so that worked well for you then?
yeah, that's exactly before I got my spa, I decided to get a tent and act like it was my spa. So it was set up like with sound music and like incense and stuff, and so people would come in and I would manifest that, like, this is going to be my spa, this is going to be my spa. And actually that only lasted maybe 6 months before I actually got my spa. So it was like,
Really?
and I tell people all the time, it's like, you gotta see it, you gotta really put yourself in it to make that, you know, come about. You know, it's like you got to feel. You just can't sit there and say, I want to open up a spa. It's just feel it and start enjoying it. And plus, it just keeps you in practice and give you the habit of how you would actually treat a client that's coming in to see you. So,
Now, were you scheduling people to come see you in that tent, or was it all just kind of like traffic that was going by the park?
yeah, it was track because I didn't have a spa then. So it was just traffic, basically. Some people I knew, and like I said, it didn't last long. And the cool thing that happened was every time I was also doing sound therapy in there with the bowls. So, but every time I would see somebody, I would set it in, these little raindrops would come. I mean, it's like real faint, but it would like hit across the tent and it made it seem like a waterfall. So then it made me even think even more, in my spa, I'm gonna have a waterfall. And that's what I have in there. It's like,
That's awesome.
yeah, so it was cool.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. Okay, switching back to the corporate stuff. Let's talk about that a little, because I think that's something that a lot of people would love to be able to get into, but maybe
Hmm.
don't know how or whatever. I mean, so I guess the first question would be, was that successful for you? Or was that working for you? Is that
So my same teacher, he also did this, the corporate thing, and he told me what he would do is just by him being at events, he would walk around and talk to different practices that were there, um, and just tell them about how we got some reflexologists, massage therapists. Wouldn't it be nice to have your employees enjoy that maybe on a monthly or biweekly basis? And they were very interested. You talk a lot about stress and how it would increase their employee morale and things like that. So he actually started getting contracts. One of the major ones that we had gotten was at the Pentagon. And so it was like they gave you a certain amount of money every month, and then you could figure out how many practitioners you want there, and we all got paid every time we went a certain amount of money. And then the employees themselves were responsible for tipping. So they would always stress to the employees, like, you're getting this free or something. So it would be nice to make sure you tip the reflexologist. So that helped. And then on some of them, it was, we had a discount rate for employees. They might come see us for we might say 20-minute sessions, because you got to make your session short because they usually doing it on their lunch or a break. So you can put like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they would come in and get those sessions done. So yeah, it's really cool.
did
So
none of
you like just set up, they give us a room in their space and set up a few hours, how long we're gonna be there a day. And they always knew, got in the habit, knew we were coming at a certain date. So at one point, it was one office, they actually had to put their name on a schedule. So they had their certain times, and that's another way to make sure you don't have someone waiting while you're working on somebody else. So
Yeah,
that
that's
was
pretty
cool.
awesome though. Like how you are able to do like so it's kind of in scale. So there's multiple reflexologists there working on multiple people. And
Yeah, yeah. And you can, I mean, even like I said, just with the events, you can also do that by yourself. Set it up, um, just going to offices and setting up, because what we found is a lot of um, places love to have something in there for their employees. It's like something different, something, if their employees are like willing to do it. It's like, oh my gosh, I would love to get like a massage or a reflexology. Um, Even though you, a lot of times we had to explain what reflexology was.
So they'd sign up not knowing what it was
So
for.
the best language to use with that would be foot massage. So then they was like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's like you gotta pick your language depending on where you are.
To get the audience to come see it first. And
Right, right. Because what they thinking, of course, they just want to relax. So they're not thinking about all of the health benefits or anything like. They just want to relax. So they get your foot massage done, do the hands, even the hands. Don't forget those. I know we have a tendency to always forget about reflexology for the hands. So you on a computer all the time, don't you want your hands like
yes.
yeah. So that was good.
That's great. Okay, now shifting gears back to your current spa. How are you finding that you're getting most of your clients, at least pre-COVID, maybe and even now too?
Well, like I said, well, one of the things I do have, I put a sign on my car. And
Like one of the magnet ones that kind
yeah, yeah.
of.
And then of course, since I have a space now, before, you don't want to put anything about where you live. So where you located. So you might just get a phone number. One of the cool things I found out is like Google has a free phone service. And so you can pick a phone number and put that on your signage to have people call. And so that's what I did. I set up a Google thing.
And you
And but
voice directed to your own self.
yeah, Google Voice, yeah. Yeah. And but most of my clients I see is word of mouth. I had planned on doing mailings around the area that I was in, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. But mostly the ones I see is word of mouth, or of course Facebook, Instagram, social media stuff. So that's about it. And only because I didn't want my spa to be some place where people off the street can just come in. I wanted to keep that VIP experience. So it's always, you have to make an appointment because I'm not here all the time, just when my appointments are. So that cut down on me having to sit here all day, like, so, and it works out better. It's like I probably would make more, just not even financially wise, even your personal time and all that, better to always have scheduled appointments instead of just having an open walk-in session. So I guess it would be different if you had multiple practitioners, but by it only being me, is just word of mouth, or even if they contact me on social media, they always got to schedule an appointment. And I try to get people to schedule consults first before I see them, because I want to set up my spa exactly for them. And so they feel like all my attention is on what they want. I don't want, one of the things I learned is I don't want people to say, oh, I gotta get a reflexology appointment. It's always that thing of there's something else attached to it. Like you'll find when you have that consult, somebody might say, I really don't sleep well, or even I might have gut issues. It's like going through certain series of things. So when they come in, I know exactly how to set it up to make them feel like I'm actually working on that issue you just telling me about. That keeps them coming back for more instead of just, I'm going to treat myself today and get a reflexology. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, that's great. You're really seeing yourself as the expert to help them with their issue. So
Yeah, yeah. So one of the, and I brought this so you can see it. One of the cool things I got, this. And they're just little slippers. And this thing costs a couple of cents. You can buy them in bulk with a little pack. So when they come in, the first thing they get is a foot bath. So, and I put like flowers and stuff in their foot bath. They get these little slippers to put on. Then we get to the chair. And get their little hot towels, warm towels, sprinkle some essential oils on there. I mean, it's just like, okay, we took care of the stress issue. They're like, I feel wonderful. I'll be back next week or, 2 weeks or whatever. So I think that works out better far as how to get clients to come in is showing that that personal touch, just little things that you do that they had no idea this is reflexology. I was like, man, if I had a manicurist in here, I'll be kicking it. Like, yeah, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. You weren't kidding about the VIP experience. Like,
Yeah, it's and that came in mind because of the downplay people put on reflexology, the benefits of it or whatever. So I felt as though I needed to bring more attention to how important it is for you to get it, not just getting it because it feels good, but how it's actually helping you in your health. And I guess that goes to mine, like far as functional medicine. One of the things that I specialize in is multiple sclerosis. And so, and my sister has it, but I think what the thing that brought me to it was I felt my hands always going to the spine reflex and also the lymphatic region. And it started clicking about, I started doing research about MS and reflexology and how they were saying how much it benefit people. So I started trying to put that out there more about what I specialize in, MS and lymphatic issues. And so that's where I was able to really create a system where people come in and they get things pinpointed on those two issues. So it was good.
that's great. I love it. I love your specialization. Have you tried to work with any groups locally that kind of help work with those people in other capacities to bring people in, or?
Not yet. That's the next step. Once we can get from lockdown, I'm gonna start reaching out to the like MS Society and things like that, different groups. Hopefully maybe be able to do some talks there. I mean, that's another thing to find um, places you can go to actually talk about what you do. And I know when I started, I always like, okay, what I'm going to say about reflexology. I mean, it's without going in all of the details, it's like finding that one thing that you can master and be able to use as a talking point to go to those places. And that's when I came up with, I said, women's health, but gosh, that could be so many things. And so it's like, I start seeing a lot of people with lymphatic issues. Um, and then you think about cancer, with cancer and things like that. So that's another thing you can go and talk about. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's on my vision board for 2021.
That's great. And I love that you have a vision board. I feel like it's so easy to get wrapped up in just going through the days and not
Yeah,
looking at the big picture of what you want. So you want to tell us a little bit about that, like how you
yeah,
word it.
yeah, that's helped a lot with my tent. I mean, that's what I had, a vision board and how I wanted it to look, and even all the way to the colors, the things I have in it. Like the first thing I did when I got my spa was I brought this table, and it's a wooden table that I actually went to the tree place and had them cut it and designed it for me. And and that's what made me start thinking about the elements, the water, the wood. It's like trying to bring all of those things that felt good to me into my spa, and hopefully will set the um, energy of being a calm and safe place to everybody that comes in here. And that's the first thing they do. And they walk in, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm like totally relaxed as soon as I walk in. So It's not just setting up a chair in a corner waiting for people to come in. It's like doing the ambiance of it all. It's like you gotta really be in it. So that vision board helped me start the journey of what I wanted to feel like and be like, the colors, the sounds. I mean, the music that's playing in the background when they come in. It's like all of that plays into having your clients want to come back and see you. So
So it sounds like you do really well with the clients then, right?
I'm trying. I was on the road for a minute and I was like, oh. So, but that's like, that really gave me time to, I'm even going to redecorate in a way um, where I can offer more, because one of the things I also have in my spa is a salt booth. And so I'm going to like trying to change the rooms around so I can put a salt floor down in a little space to have a chair in there, and with the salt, have it like a salt room. So that enhances, of course, like inflammation. It's like, yeah, inflammation, you got sinus issues, you got with the feet and the salt. So it's like trying to think of things that way. Creativity is my second name.
Oh man, you do it all though. I mean, you've got everything going on. It's so awesome.
I try. And even with the bowls, one of the things I do is after this session, I might play a bowl over their feet. Um, and or if you got tuning forks, putting the tuning forks on their feet or something like that. It's also a great add-on.
Speaking of, do you actually just add that on? It's just like, here's your fee for your session and it's the same price no matter what I do? Or do you,
Yeah, so
like, you can add on the bowl for this price or things like that?
no, everything is included. So, and that's why I set it up like a VIP, and why I want to do a consultation first, because and it's all the same price. So of course in my mind, I know what I need to include in this price, and they don't feel as though I'm penny pinching them for every little thing. So, and so I call it like a holistic reflexology thing. They might be here for 90 minutes. So I have it like down to 60 minutes or 90 minutes, depending on, what I think they need and what I offer. So all those little things will be in there. So now they feel like, wow, I got all of this for an hour.
Yes.
So that's one thing I thought. It's like, instead of saying, okay, you want hot towels, you want whatever is going to be extras, like, no, include all of that in your price, so
And
they
you
don't
just
feel
decide
like,
how you feel that they need you.
yeah.
That's great. I'm looking over my questions to see if I've missed asking you anything, and you've pretty much like covered a lot of the stuff that I already that I want to ask. You've already talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
So I just, what comes to your mind if someone was asking you, like they're getting started as a new reflexologist and they're looking for some advice? What's your go-to advice for them?
And I was thinking about that question because I always want to come up with something that's not obvious to everyone. And the thing that I guess stood out for me is to find that one thing. It's like, why did you want to be a reflexologist? It's like, what drew you to it, and what was so compelling to you doing reflexology? And so, like when I was talking about before about MS, and I always noticed that my hands always went on the spine, and I love the lymphatic pump. So that kind of put in my mind what um, I actually wanted to do with that. It's like your hands can kind of guide you and tell you it's like you like the chest region. Maybe you want to talk to somebody about like heart disease or something like that. It's like let your hands guide you. Where are you love to touch on the feet the most and try to figure out why. And then maybe that's how you can form your practice. It's like then that's how, because people always say, how your target audience, what's your target audience? And like, how do I find my target audience? I don't even know what that look like when it comes to reflexology. And so that I think would start pinpointing to your target audience. And it came in mind, it's like, even if I'm pinpointing it to that MS or lymphatic, it's not necessarily that's all the clients I'm gonna get, because they see, they have friends, and it's like I go to this person, they work on my lymphatic region, and I'm like, it's like, okay, I wonder if they like can help me with my whatever. It's like, yeah, I see everybody, but to find your target audience, to start looking at the feet in a way of let that be your target. Find that target on the feet, and then you can probably learn how to develop, what you're going to do. And the other thing is to start talking to people about their feet as is actually a health practice, not just a relaxation practice. Some people come in and they got dry feet. Start talking about the different oils or lotions they can use on their feet, and carry those even with you. You want to buy some. And I make salt baths, you use those at home to relax, when you can't see me, use those at home as a form of relaxation, different things like that. Just get yourself a tub and put the salts in there. I used to do that almost every day when I was working a 9 to 5 job. I would come in almost every day, sit on the sofa. I would have my little salt things and everything right there. Put some water in there, watch TV, put my feet in there, and for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, good. I'm like, okay. So it's like the benefits of that. And so, like, I even carry these foot alignment socks for people who might have their toes might be scratched or something. And so I might say, they have these socks that will help you with your feet, your alignment. I have some back here, it's like selling. So try to find little things that you can actually get them to be more engaged in the health of their feet. So I think that engagement is critical, because, like I said, people don't think about their feet unless they hurt, and then they go to a foot doctor. And so it's like trying to make them think you can come to me. And then if you need a foot doctor, I'll tell you go to a foot doctor. So that's all I could think of. Yeah, I think it's very important, um, because if you don't find that target which really resonates you with somebody's feet, you can just be all over the place, easy. And I'm famous for that. So I have to reel myself in and think of, okay, let's just focus on that. I also teach yoga. That's another thing. It's like, look at what else you do and how can you incorporate feet into that. So when I teach yoga, I talk a lot about the feet.
They think Sheila and they think feet. Whatever.
I know. It's like, yeah. I mean, all kinds of stuff I think of. Foot baths, I mean, I'm also an herbalist, so that's why I can make a lot of stuff for people, as far as their feet. Um, put some activated charcoal in your salt packets to give to the client, because that helps with detoxifying. They might have fungus or whatever on their feet. It's just an extra thing that you can do. So they know they can't go to the store and get this. They can get it from you. Put some flowers in your little salt things and all that stuff. So And just a few days ago, I actually had somebody who, and they didn't see me for reflexology, but they knew I did it. And they were asking me about, should they use they needed to relax and wanted to get some Epsom salt and whatever. I was like, well, I have a salt packet that I think would go better. Just because people use it in their foot baths doesn't mean they can't use it in the tub. So it's like, come and get some of me.
Yeah. No, I love that it's like you're taking something that people could just buy standard, like kind of, but you're like
Yeah.
knowing how to add something special to it and create that extra level and make it unique and tailored. And that is,
Yeah.
yeah, it really like
Yeah.
helps set you apart. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the key to um reflex. People don't really talk about reflexology, so I think it's up to us to actually show how we're different and why it's so important. And the more people talk about it and really engage with other people like that, the more awareness it brings. And so I think that will help a lot, because like massage, people know massage. If you like massage, oh yeah, I gotta get a massage or whatever. So that's why I say you gotta choose your language depending on who you're talking to. You ever try a foot massage or a hand massage? Then when you get them there, you can go into deeper of what it actually is and how it can help them. So yeah.
yeah, no, that's great. Because sometimes you have to meet people where they're at. And if they're not going to get what reflexology is until you get them in there.
Right, right. And don't forget about the ears. Like one of the things, and that's another thing, is like not just offering foot, but make it like a whole body reflexology. The feet, the hands, and the ears together. You know, that could be another thing. Get some ear seeds and put it on there. You know, it's like they might be stressed out. It's like get some. Yeah, so I know somebody that is, I have to schedule my appointments like at least an hour leeway, because it gets to the point where it's like, okay, give me some of that. Get out. And by me doing it that way, I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like I need to see 7 or 10 people a day for practice to keep my practice going. I can see one person. I can see, I'll say, see 4 people a day, and I'm good. I don't have to even work anymore, you know? So I think, and as reflexologists, we need to be aware of that, about the health of our hands and, you know, our spines. So to formulate in a way where you're not working harder than you need to. Um, and I think all of that comes into actually how you care for the person that you see. So, yeah.
Yes, I love that. So great. Okay.
Because I was like, it's not, I know somebody sees 7 clients a day. I was like, no way. You know? I'll be going like that. Because that was the other thing. That's another point I want to put for the events, or even the corporate, depending on how many people there are. Because one event, we worked at the Pentagon, even for this other business, worked from like 9 to 5, and you just got like a hour lunch. So you're steady seeing people constantly, like every 30 minutes, and I'm sitting up there like, after that's over with, I just want to go to bed. So I can't even imagine my practice seeing people that way. So that's what started making me get creative on how I can. My price is like, you know, you can see somebody for $100, and but make it like a real experience that's worth that $100. So it's like then you don't have to see all.
I can't imagine. Like, you were doing 9 to 5, just straight, like, and again, short people. So you're seeing a lot of people when you're,
Yeah, we got two 15-minute breaks and a half an hour lunch.
Wow.
And so it was, and it was constant. They were coming in. It's like they just,
So you very well understand like the burnout that can happen of trying to pack your day with just.
right, right. So one thing I think would be cool though, especially if you're just starting out, maybe you might want to do events once a month or every other month in that capacity, or doing corporate once a month, but then in your own practice to kind of tone it down some, because I mean, arthritis is real. And we want to make this an enjoyable experience, because if you don't feel well, they won't feel well. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
And then it sounds like you've done a really good job of diversifying your practice enough so that you have a lot of different things that you can incorporate and.
Yeah, I just like getting creative, like even partner reflexology sessions where that's really good to do, especially around the holidays, or Valentine's Day or something. I have a friend of mine who actually will come to my spa and help me if like a husband and wife, or partners want to come in together. So then that's a whole new experience, because now they really gonna get the VIP treatment. I even got like eye pillows, lavender eye pillows, and all that stuff. They get a little glass of champagne. It all depends on the experience. So it's like try to get creative so that alleviates the burnout. I mean, that one couple experience could be your whole day of work. So it's like put it in there, take advantage of it.
No, I'm so glad you mentioned it though, especially like with the holidays coming up and all that stuff. So I really like kind of that approach. Like, so do you charge like just, there's two people, are you kind of charging double what your normal session would be? Or because you're again going a little bit extra above and beyond and bringing in somebody else, like how are you positioning that
Yeah.
or like pricing that? And.
So I don't want it to seem like it's two separate charges together. So I make it in just one charge. Say for instance, like a couple, and put some like pretty name to it or something, you know. And when they come in, because the way my spa is set up, I can maybe charge, I say for instance, $250. But when they come in, they might have some hors d'oeuvres there. They might have some little champagne. Like I said, it's like do it where they feel, and I do it that way because they will go back and tell their friends about this new thing. They're so used to getting massages that way. You got to flip it with reflexology, saying you can get that same feeling, that same effect getting reflexology. So make it into like a really nice experience where it was like, okay, we got to do that again, coming back. It's like, I ain't know I was going to have shrimp.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like, what did that cost? Nothing. You can go to the store and get some like shrimp for like $5 and just put it up there. It's like, come on. It really doesn't have to cost you that much. Um, and it's because it's the little things. They're not gonna sit there eat a whole meal. They might have two shrimp and a glass of champagne, but the way you had it set up, it's like, wow. So,
You try to like schedule those like in a short period, what I mean? It's kind of like this is the week that we're doing like the couples for
yeah, yeah.
supplies on hand and.
Yeah. So I mean, and those are usually like maybe specials that I could put out there. Like we're celebrating couples this month or something like that, and put a little tidbits of even what's included. And you'll find that they'll be like, you know what, we should need to do something different. Let's do that. So
Yeah, I feels like that would be such a neat experience the way you have it set up and.
and especially with COVID, they're together, so they probably want some stress relief. So
Do you do the same thing like for other like mother daughters or
Yeah,
like that too? And
yeah, mother daughters, everything, girlfriends, they can come in. And I guess the upside, what I have at the spa is I can offer them a whole lot more different things. I mean, they can um, get the infrared sauna, they can get massage, they can get yoni steams. So it's like um, before COVID, I even set up things like girls' night out or something like that. So I just call in some of my friends, massage therapists or other reflexologists, and really just have some kind of special thing that you can bring a group with you. This will start people realizing, oh, let's get a group of friends together and let's, do this reflexology thing. They like, don't be afraid to call in your friends to help you out. Don't think you're in it alone. Um, because one thing I found out is like, as reflexologists, and that's where it comes from, that group thing, the corporate, the events. It's like, I think it was something that it's like, I think we're so used to like glad to see each other instead of like the work, like, yes, let's do this. And so I can call up 2 or 3 friends to come in. They bring their chairs and just have like a little group session going on. So
that is that was actually going to be my next question to you was like, does each person bring their own reflexology chair table, or did you have
yeah,
somebody?
yeah. So it can be I always keep my mobile reflexology chair here, so I can pull that out and set it up. So you don't want your nice reflexology chair there while everybody else have their little you want to keep it coordinated. so, so yeah, because I used to go before I got my spa, I used to do a lot of in-house, used to travel to see people in their house. So one of the things, and I don't know why this just came to mind, so I guess I need to say it, was people who was experiencing, um, they knew they was going to pass, so they might be really sick or whatever. And I had did this before. It's like they called me and was like they want their parent to actually feel loved and feel good before it was time, and to help them transition. And I think reflexology was amazing for that. Um, and I think it was just something about those hands on those feet. It just made them feel okay. So that's could be another thing to even look at, nursing homes, things like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's yeah, I really like that. Like,
Yeah, and then even one of the things, Alzheimer's, the reflexology really helps calm Alzheimer's patients, and help them sleep. So I used to do that a lot too. I used to go and see people's parents who had Alzheimer's, and they was just amazed. First, they didn't think I would they would let me touch them or whatever. And it's just like all in the presentation. Put your hand on their hand and start massaging it, or whatever. They might just let you do their hand. So it's like finding creative ways to bring reflexology into where that person is. Um, I think is the best. Okay, I'll end with that. If you want to get started, type of things you can look into.
so were you going to people's homes where they had the Alzheimer's, or were you going into like a facility that had Alzheimer's?
I was going to their homes, um, and that was just because that's how I was asked. Like somebody said, "Will you come to my house to help my mom or whatever?" And I would bring a diffuser with some lavender in it and set that up to help them calm down while I was doing the reflexology stuff.
You've done it all. You've done mobile, you've done the tent, you've got
I
your
know.
mama, you were doing corporate and events. So
Get
I'm gonna
yourself a little singing bowl and hit it. Yum, 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 yum. So yeah. Yeah, I love it. Um I hope I'm able to do this for the rest of my life that I have here, because I think before I was looking at it as just something I love to do. Now I look at it as a passion, as a um something I want to leave with. I can do all my life, you know. So, and I think that came with the idea of just exactly what you can do with reflexology instead of just something you like to do. It's like, think of, you just don't understand the real deep benefits it helps with someone until you start looking down deep about how it can help someone. So, and that resonated with me when I was at one of those events and I was doing reflexology on someone, and it felt like I couldn't feel their chest, like it was hollow.
Mm.
And at the end of the session, I just said, so I was like, your feet feel like really hollow down here. And I said, this is your chest area. And they told me they had both their breasts removed. And so that's when it kind of like, whoa. Like, the stuff that I can, and all these things start running in my mind. It's like the stuff that I can do with her feet, you know, it's like to make her feel, you know. So it was crazy. Yeah.
Man, that yeah, it's
And I go, placing your hands on their feet and just tell your hands to guide you to where, you know, try to take that into where you want to target your practice and how you want to start changing your verbiage and how you can with that magnet bring more people into your practice. So,
yeah, I love that. Like you are a person who listens to the feet. So let the feet tell you who your target audience is.
yeah, yeah. I have like you know, Sam always say he's a foot whisperer. He sit up there and tell the feet. And I was like, let the feet speak to you. Let them be.
Yes, they can guide you in your business, not just in helping that one person. That's
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it.
yeah, you have so much great stuff. Is there anything else? Like, I don't want to, you know, anything else that's coming to you or that you feel, or do you feel like you got it all out?
Oh gosh. Um, um, when I was talking about like guy in the feet, it's like to look at that person, their health issues, and you might know somebody in your family or something that might have gone through something, and to try and figure out how you can use reflexology to help them, and then get their feedback off of it so you can make that one of your talking points. For instance, my stepdad had a stroke ways back, but when he had the stroke, he got into the position where he wasn't talking; he was just sitting there. And then I think it was he was afraid to move, um, thinking he was going to make himself anxious and he'll have a stroke again or something like that. So of course, I started working on the brain reflex on his feet, and I used some essential oils like basil is good for the brain. And I actually started working. I think it probably after like 4 sessions, he started talking again. He started being aware. So it's like, whoa.
That.
And so it's like, take that, you know, it's like that was something that I could now talk to people about. Like, that's who doesn't know anybody who haven't had a stroke or has high blood pressure or, you know, things like that. So um, taking the feet, taking one point and turning into those talking points where you can approach people of how it can benefit them. So
Yeah, because
I
there's nothing
think,
better than being able to say, like, I've done this. Like, here's the, what this person
yeah,
experienced. And
yeah. So I know, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you've come across some things on people's feet that made you like sit back or whatever. And it's like, remember those things and now think about how you can put that into your practice. Start talking to people about it because that resonates with people. I mean, it might not resonate where this reflex point on your feet, goes to this body part or whatever. But if you say, talk in a way you have, high blood pressure, you have trouble sleeping, how me just hitting this point on your feet can actually help you, so not trying to put anything. I think it helps with people that that actually have those issues. So somebody who doesn't have that issues, it won't resonate with them too much. But somebody who, I heard you're having problems with this and that. It's like, why don't you just try a session and see if it helps, So, and of course, we don't know if it will, but we do know what will help. They will relax, they will be calm, the stress will be leave, and they will be like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's like worst that can happen is you're like way relaxed.
Right. At least they felt good.
Yeah. But you could have these other really cool things happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sheila. This has all been absolutely wonderful.
Great. Thank you.